Happy Fragrant Friday, Fraghead. Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a new, Springfield, Massachusetts got it this week, review. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well, my friends. My name is Ben, this is That Cologne Guy, and it is, of course, the channel that wishes you a fragrant Friday and welcomes you into the weekend. If you'd like to know more about my channel, you can check it out on the card in your upper right. You've seen the title and the description, so I'm backing away from a fragrance review on men's colognes, and I'm going to do something I do every so often, which is to review a woman's perfume. You can see this is Good Girl by Carolina Herrera, or Carolina Herrera. And it's just something that I do every once in a while. Sometimes it's a subscriber request. You guys might, if you watch me each week, know that during the pandemic, I actually walked around the house quite a bit because I was working at home wearing women's perfume. I certainly don't mind doing that, and it's good for the review. So we're going to take a look at this one, which is quite frankly known more for the iconic or cheesy, depending on your take. I actually don't mind it. Bottle. So it is the high heel, and in edit, I will make sure I add that image. So most of you know this one. You've seen it at department stores if you haven't smelled it or even know the name. This is that one. It is the high heel, and it is a Good Girl. It is a 2016 Eau de Parfum. So this is an oriental floral. Actually, I thought it might be an oriental spicy, but it's an oriental floral. And I did catch the parfumés this time. This was done by Louise Turner and Quentin Bish. So this is the first time that I have reviewed from either a fragrance from either parfumé. So this is a first. Now, let's talk a little bit about the house to begin with. So in this review, I will say Carolina Herrera, but I want to go and talk a little bit about her, and then, of course, the parent company a little bit. So the house itself is by Carolina Herrera. Her full name is, buckle up, her full name is Maria Carolina Josefina Pacanins y Niño. And of course, that is a very long name, and she goes by shortened version, which is Carolina Herrera. Interesting to note, she is from Caracas, Venezuela, and her mom actually was the governor of Caracas. So it's Carolina Herrera. She is Venezuelan. Many people think that she is Spanish, and I'll tell you why. When you look at the package, it will say actually made in Spain. Right there it is there for you. And that's because the parent company is Antonio Puig. Antonio Puig is a huge parent company in Barcelona, Spain. So she has the house, Carolina Herrera. The parent company is Spanish from Spain, and that is Antonio Puig. It is huge. You've definitely had fragrances from Antonio Puig. You probably just don't know it. So huge parent company from Spain. She is not from Spain. She is from Venezuela. So I will do my best to say Carolina Herrera the rest of the way. This one is called, again, Good Girl 2016 Eau de Parfum. Now, it is a sample, so I can't talk too much about, of course, the atomizer and the bottle and the presentation. What I would like you to do, though, is if you have the actual bottle of this, let us know if it's easy to spray, because that would probably matter in the ratings in future considerations. But I actually don't mind the high heel at all. In fact, I think it's kind of nice. I think it'd be a great perfume to have out on display for all to see. I don't find it cheesy. I don't find it tacky. I actually like it. It does look like it could be a little bit difficult to spray, though, which would mildly annoy me. So that's what I'm gonna talk about with the bottle. I don't have too much else to say other than please let me know if you do have it and it's difficult or not to spray. Now, as far as the notes, you guys know you can go to Fragrantica. I don't offer that many. I offer the ones that I get out of this fragrance myself. Now, I will say this. This is actually a pretty complex fragrance. There's actually a lot going on here. is in terms of number of notes. In the top notes, you're definitely going to get almond, coffee, and bergamot. The bergamot really, and lemon. The bergamot and lemon really offset nicely the almond and coffee, and hold that thought on the almond. And then the mid notes, you start to get orange blossom. There are many notes actually in this fragrance that I personally love on my own skin, and so curious to see if I would like it on a woman's. So orange blossom is another note I like, and then of course now we're hitting the big hitters for me, which is cacao and praline. Absolutely love this, kind of a gourmand dessert-like fragrance. And then of course it's got a vanilla in it, but the vanilla I like because it is toned down, and I appreciate that about this fragrance a lot. Vanilla is kind of a hit and miss with me, and this one is certainly a hit because it is toned down. Then you get into some more ones I like, cinnamon, cedar, and a powdery quality to it that really adds nicely to the fragrance. It does have tuberose and orris root, which is iris. So tuberose and iris are in it, but they are also flying under the radar, which is what I like. Tuberose and orris root or iris, are real hit and miss notes for me as well, whether it be on my own skin or woman's. The tuberose can just be a little bit off-putting for me, and this is certainly not the case here. It actually adds to the complexity of the fragrance, which I like. So now let's get to the not so good. If you don't watch me each week, I just want to be very clear in saying that just because I find something I don't like doesn't mean I don't like the fragrance in itself as an entirety, because I do actually really, really like this one. I just tend to be persnickety. So I feel, to me, that this is very, very seductive. It's a nighttime fragrance, very sexy. I absolutely love all the notes, except for I don't mind almond. It's not that I don't like almond, but almond is too big of a player here. To me, it would have been better. This would have been an absolute grand slam, if you'll allow a baseball analogy. This would have been a grand slam without almond, and it's still a home run with it. But I feel like, to me, you've got the coffee, the bergamot, the lemon to start off with, and then it really hits hard in rose, by the way, in the mid. I should have mentioned that earlier. It's got rose, it's got cacao, it's got delicious praline, and so everything about it speaks to seductive, sexy, evening, feminine. I love it. The only thing I would say is I wish the almond would have been, toned down or even removed out of it, quite frankly. That's just my take on it. The cacao really hits hard, the praline, the coffee, and so I positively adore that. Okay, so what does it smell like? I want you to imagine the following, because to me it kind of conjures up the notion of a very attractive woman, well-dressed, either in a coffee shop or a bar, and it conjures up the notion of like an Irish coffee or an espresso martini, because it has a very definite coffee quality, but the praline really comes in, the vanilla, and makes it very sweet. And so again, it is a very inviting, sweet, and seductive fragrance indeed. But that's what it conjures up to me. So let's talk about some of the categories then. This one is, I'm wearing it around the house. This one is definitely one. I have had women's perfumes in my collection, actually. I would absolutely wear one, no doubt. Black Orchid was one. But this would not be one of them. It's a little too feminine for me, but I, of course, would adore it on a woman's skin. So this one is, I'm going to go a whopping 90-10 on this one. It does have cedar. It does have coffee, but I feel like it has a lot of powder, vanilla. I do feel, and tuberose, orris root, and rose. I feel like it's really pushed over well into the ultra feminine. So I'm going to go 90-10 split as far as people who actually own it, have it, wanted it, etc. So we're going to go 90% will be women and 10% will be on the guys. A little too feminine for me personally, but again, absolute home run on a woman's skin. So when it comes to age, I like gourmands. This will not really matter for age because it comes down to whether or not you like sweet gourmands. I love them. So for me, there's no real age bracket here. Let's just say 20 and up, just to give one. I guess it's slightly mature, so I don't see too many high schoolers wearing this, but college and up would be fine. What I really like about it is women will often complain, rightly, and that a lot of women's perfumes are way too floral. And if you will allow this grandma-ish, that depends on your perspective, of course. And that is why many women in the fragrance community will say that's why that they experiment and wear either unisex, of course, or even men's fragrances. So this one would be great for you if you're kind of tired of the ultra floral, grandma-ish fragrances, because this is definitely not that. I mean, this is definitely romantic, seductive, attractive, and it would definitely be something for any age. It's not too mature, and it's not like a first time high school fragrance. Just perfect, actually, when it comes to that element. And I really like that and appreciate about this fragrance, excuse me. Okay, so season, this is definitely a winter, fall, and perhaps even dipping into some spring and summer. I mean, you could, if you're the type of person that just wants to wear it by occasion, you absolutely could wear it in the spring and summer. We'll associate this, though, with the fall and the winter. Now, daytime, nighttime, I would actually be careful about wearing this one to the office. I don't usually say that, but you would probably get asked out. This one is definitely for the nighttime. And if you follow my channel, you know that sometimes I talk about a romantic night in, and other times I talk about a romantic night out. So if it's a romantic night out, then of course you want something explosive that jumps off the skin, and because you want it to be noticed when you're out and about, like at a restaurant, live music, something like that. You want to be noticed, and you want, if you're far away. And if it's a romantic night in close quarters, you don't want something too explosive, because you want something that's going to sit next to the skin, invite the other person in. This one is actually a perfect melding of the two, because this one would be great to go out with on a date, and this would also be great to stay home in close quarters. So absolute fantastic job in that sense. So in terms of longevity and projection, I have more good news for you, because for the projection, you're looking at 3 feet, 1 meter for about the first 4 to 6 hours, and then it starts to taper back and get a little closer to the skin. And then, of course, the longevity is going to be 6 to 8 hours. I would normally say it gets you a work shift, but I would not advise wearing this to work. But it will get you a great 6 to 8 hours. So this is perfect for, happy hour right after work with friends, or if you're going to go on a dinner date, then live music, or just a romantic night in. So it's just absolutely great. It's going to be perfect for a lot of events. It's extremely versatile, with the exception of if you don't like gourmands or very, sweet dessert-like fragrances. I absolutely love them. So for me, it's perfect. Okay, so let's give the rating. Out of 5 sprays, I'm going to go with 4 sprays out of 5 for Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. When I do a review, I usually know the exact number of sprays I'm going to give in the first day or two, and I rarely differ from that. This one is different, because I want to give this a 5 out of 5 personally, because I really love the notes. If you watch me each week, I love coffee, orange blossom, cacao, praline, cinnamon, powdery elements to it. Rose, bergamot, and the list goes on. So this really speaks to notes that I like. I am going to go with 4 out of 5. This was excruciating, because it's like a 4.499999. And I don't have half sprays. I usually will round up. This one I feel is a 4, and I'll tell you why. To me, the 5s are classics, and they would absolutely be a 5 for everybody. I can't say that, because I think if you personally don't like gourmand, if you don't like sweet fragrances, coffee, you are not going to like this fragrance. So I took that in consideration. I also am considering that some people find the bottle odd, quirky, tacky, whatever, possibly difficult to spray. I personally don't find it. In fact, I think it adds to the fragrance. I like the high heel. Now, in fact, it kind of matches my high heel wine bottle holder. So there you go. There, let's put it right there. So it matches my wine holder. Now, I am going to go with 4 though, because to me the almond needs to be toned down. In fact, I would even say, dare I say, removed. I like almond, especially on guys' colognes. I have no problem with almond, but it is quite a prominent player here. Now, I was very happy, as I mentioned, with the tuberose and the orris root being toned down. Very happy. Vanilla knows its place. That's all good. But the almond to me is too prominent, and I find it a little. It does take away from the fragrance. So I'm going to go with 4 out of 5 sprays for Good Girl by Carolina Herrera, or Carolina Herrera, and boy is it close to a 5 out of 5. If the atomizer, if it's easy to spray and the atomizer is spectacular, I could be even convinced to bump up to a 5 out of 5. I'm going to go for 4 out of 5 sprays for now, though, again, because I just feel like the parfumers probably should have tinkered a little bit more with the almond, in fact, even removed it. And I wonder, I noticed it has a number of flankers. I wonder if one of the flankers out there has pretty much the same note breakdown with it removed. I would not be at all surprised. Okay, so there you have it. 4 out of 5 sprays knocking at the door at 5 out of 5 sprays for Good Girl. I've really enjoyed reviewing a woman's perfume this week. It's been so much fun. And I look forward to next week. I'm going to be reviewing, in the next 2 weeks, actually, fragrances sent in from subscriber Brian. So it's something I'm looking forward to. And again, happy holidays. I hope you enjoyed the review. And always remember, my friends, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody. Happy Fragrant Friday, Fraghead. Hey everybody, this has Ben here, That Cologne Guy, coming at you with the dog barking in a review.